Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2026 game. We are about to be halfway through round one of this year's tournament arc because today we're going to be seeing Lark versus C.atasyl at the very top left of the bracket. Also, small thing to note, you may have noticed in the last video, I've corrected it now, and at the end of the last video, I accidentally put the wrong name for Doc versus Dragonfly. It's been corrected now. Dragonfly was the winner. I didn't try and cheat my friend Doc into round two of the tournament. I just I had a long week and accidentally moved the wrong name forward. But it's correct now, so we're going to see Lark versus C.atasyl today, and whichever one of them wins will go up against Dragonfly in round two. So very, very funny that the scheduling has happened to play out in a way that each game is revealing what the round two game matchups are. That's very funny. But without any further yapping from me, let's get into this game between Lark and C.atasyl. All right, and we are in here for C.atasyl versus Lark. C.atasyl's name in Steam is Ice-T Feels Pain. I don't know why, but I find it very funny to see at the top right. So we're going to see the dice roll, and Lark is going to win the dice roll, so he will be our starting player for this game, which means he is going to ban first. It looks like C.atasyl already knows what they want to ban, regardless of whatever Lark picks, which, honestly, totally fair. Might have a villain that they just absolutely don't want to go up against, or it'd be really funny if Lark bans whoever they pulled out, though. That'd be hilarious. But might have a villain they just really don't want to go against, or specifically knows Lark is good at, and it looks like they know Lark is specifically good at light. So Lark is going to ban Griffith. We've seen a lot of Griffith play in qualifiers and in tournament arc thus far. I think there have been 2 or 3 Griffith games. I apologize for that. That sneeze came out of nowhere. My apologies. But Lark is well known as a light player. Light has always been one of Lark's go-tos, and he's quite good at him. So I could definitely understand just target banning light, especially going into the blind pick, not knowing if Lark would actually pick light or not. And it looks like C.atasyl, again, already knows what villain he wants to play. He's way more on the ball than Lark is. Come on, Lark. You gotta... You won the first tournament arc. You were like second place in the second one, I think, or something like that. Like, come on, man. It was like top 4. I don't remember. I think he was second place in the second tournament arc. He's having a time picking this villain, though. I actually got a DM. Oh, we're having a tech issue is the problem. Okay, that's what's happening. It looks like it might be resolved, so I might not have to do a jump cut. No, I think we're good. Lark was just having a little brouhaha there. So who are we going to see? It is going to be Crollo versus Orochimaru. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. Battle of the Red Eyes. Or, well, you know, they're not the ones with the red eyes, but still. Okay, this is a heavyweight shonen matchup. I'm very excited to see this one, honestly. I am a huge Orochimaru fan, as we know, and I dabble in a bit of Crollo. I enjoy some Crollo gaming as well. Oh man, this is going to be... The thing is both of these villains, I think a lot of this might come down to whoever gets the early momentum, because both of these villains are very momentum-driven. Once they start getting their boards set up and start getting their stuff going, we're going to see that C.atasyl is going to take the Crollo mulligan. I say the Crollo mulligan, the second player mulligan for Crollo. But we're off to the races. But yeah, both of these characters are good at exerting fate pressure, and they're good at... We're going to see a huge discard from Lark. He doesn't like his opening hand. And they struggle a bit with early fates. And early Kurapika on C.atasyl is definitely going to put that early momentum in Lark's favor, more than likely. Definitely going to want to be seeing like an early Kaluto potentially here to deal with this. We're going to see both Phantom Troops in the opening hand, but an immediate Scarlet Eyes is really good. Really good indeed. Ooh, no hero on the first Orochi Fate. That's rough. We are, of course, going to see Decomposing, and that wasn't a very good Decomposing target, unfortunately, so that's quite unlucky for C.atasyl. Lark definitely has the momentum here, and Kurapika straight into Killua as well. So the gain 2 at Scarlet Eyes, as long as Melody is fairly low, though, then C.atasyl can really rack up power fast and make some progress. We're going to see a huge discard and no card play. Ooh, this is looking rough for C.atasyl right out the gate, and these two are playing super fast. Look at them go. We're going to see Lark take a turn at Tunzaku here. He's got plenty of fates out already, and now he just wants to start setting up some defense for when fates start hitting him. Oh my goodness. Kitamaru into Curse Seal into double Forbidden for just an insane amount of power. And now a 3 strength Kitamaru well poised to get to 4 strength with how much power there is. Another big discard. This has been a very unlucky start for Chrollo, even with the mulligan. There's the 5 strength for Orochi. Really would have liked to have seen that last turn. But it's going to cover up Forest of Death, and it's going to take Kitamaru a little bit to be strong enough to take down Sarutobi. So that will hopefully buy C.atasyl a little bit of time. And it looks like Lark is not going to go to Otagakari, so there's not going to be a Fate here, which is good for C.atasyl, because C.atasyl really needs an opportunity to play out some quick allies from Hideout, like take advantage of that double play. I don't think that there's really anyone C.atasyl could throw out here to immediately go for a York New Vanquish. We're going to see Konoha moving Kitamaru. Wonder why you'd bother moving Kitamaru. We are going to see 4 Violet, so this could be a kill on Sarutobi, because this will get Kitamaru to 4. Oh, and Rashomon actually, instead of the 4 Violet, to get Sarutobi down to 4, and that puts Kitamaru up. He's going to use 4 Violet as well. You don't need to use 4 Violet here, unless you're not going to use Kitamaru. Oh, he's just going to leave Sarutobi there. Maybe he wants to clash Sarutobi. It is going to be a Hideout. Really, what C.atasyl needs the most right here, and Binding Loyalty can help get it. Machi isn't great, unfortunately, but still that sets up a potential Uvagan kill if Killua can be gotten rid of. But what C.atasyl wants the most right now, and will hopefully get via Binding Loyalty at some point, and we are seeing that Lark is using 4 Violet again to get Sarutobi into clash range, and the immediate gone. Holy cow! This is I feel bad. I feel a little bad. This is very unlucky Chrollo Fate luck, like incredibly unlucky, and especially whiffing the first hero on Orochi on top of that. That's very rough. But Chrollo does have a lot of power here. Getting rid of Requiem. Doesn't really have time to be playing it right now. Is triggering Shed Skin before potentially playing Dead Demon Consuming here. And it's going to be Tsunade and Naruto. Yeah, Tsunade dropped on Otagakari here is pretty good. If Lark wants to go and do the clash, then he can't also kill Tsunade with Kitamaru. But what C.atasyl wants the most right now is a Kaluto would be very, very good. Play Kaluto into Kurapika to start getting him down. Maybe move Kaluto into Outskirts. It's the wrong way, obviously, but get Killua into an easy clash. There's some options there. But this has been a very rough start for Chrollo. And like I said before, I think with both of these villains are really good at exerting fate pressure when they have momentum, and they really struggle at times when they're getting hit by heavy fate pressure to keep control or to claw back out. So we're going to see Sakon and Ukon and Tsuyu and Sealed Coffin here. Are we going to move Kitamaru back potentially to get Tsunade out relatively easily? Yeah, these hand signs work. Sakon and Ukon, then Tsuyu is a different hand sign than Sealed Coffin is. And then we're going to see Sakon and Ukon getting the poison kunai to potentially kill Tsunade later. But, yeah, Orochimaru got that early momentum and now has a lot of pieces on board to deal with these heroes coming out, whereas C.atasyl is struggling to get out the allies needed to start killing. We're going to see Finks. Finks is very good to get here to start trying to get some of that momentum in getting a bunch of allies. What C.atasyl needs more than anything right now is to just get a lot of allies in play, and then honestly, instead of focusing objective at all, C.atasyl is going to want to just start killing and clearing up this territory. All of the strong heroes have come out early, so on one hand, that sucks because all the strong heroes are here. But on the other hand, we're going to see Franklin into an extra play, which is very good for C.atasyl. And I don't think we saw any discards off of Finks, so got to be some pretty good draws, or just planning to discard at the end with the actual discard action. We're going to see a Greed Island into picking something here. Feel like we're probably going to be seeing Kaluto more than likely, or maybe Uvagan is the pick. We're not going to get to see it because Greed Island can choose any card in the deck, so it doesn't require revealing it to prove that you're not cheating. If it said like pick an ally or something, they'd have to show us, as most of you watching would know. But I think what C.atasyl really needs to do here is just clean out this territory, because especially with how well the game has gone for Lark early, I think what C.atasyl is going to be looking at is trying their best to have an open. We're gonna see the discard at the end of the turn anyway. Is going to be discarding both of the attachers again, because I think just really needs to go and try and get kills here. But if C.atasyl can open up this territory and have it nice and clean once Sasuke hits the board, which could be right now, because I think this is enough strength, 5, 9, 11. And we are going to see the Sasuke activate here, I believe. That does mean no vanquishes will be happening. But if C.atasyl can clean this up quick and then put out a lot of fate pressure to start playing out like Jiraiya and Gaara and recovery missions while Sasuke is in play, then they can potentially claw this back despite being at a major... What's the word I'm thinking of? On the major back foot, I guess. Oh, has it really already been? Like, they've played these turns so fast. It doesn't even feel like it's been this long, to be honest. We are going to see the Franklin play, really thinking about Illumi here, and it is going to be Illumi, a -1 on Kurapika, maybe. Gotta put a -1 on someone here. Kakashi and Dead Demon, you probably do just want to... Honestly, I think Kakashi to Otogakari is the play here. Because you really don't want Lark to be getting any use out of the activated Otogakari now that Sasuke is out. We're actually going to see a Dead Demon. We haven't seen Manda or Kimimaro, so this is a pretty good play because Lark's hand could have some really good stuff in it. And it could also trigger Binding Loyalty, which would be nice. And then that'll be that turn. Did we not see did you forget to put a -1 on for Illumi? There's no reason not to, really. And we did see Kimimaro lost here. I'm not sure what else was discarded there, if he lost Manda or not. Should have been looking closer, but I was wondering about the -1 token deal going on here. We are going to see Lark go over here and just kill Tsunade at the cost of Sakon and Ukon. A little painful because I hate having not having Sakon and Ukon out. It can really cause some problems when Gaara comes out to play. But that is going to be a Poison Kunai -1 on Sasuke, which gave him an extra power. And then we're also going to see the spend 1 on the 4 Violet as well to put 1 on Sasuke there. And then Rogue Limb here. It's very unfortunate. It is going to be Franklin just to take away that extra play card. Honestly, I think that's probably the play, even if it's an easy clash for Crollo later, because Crollo has plenty of power right now. What Crollo needs is play cards. Yeah, that actually works out with Uvigan. Nice. I was going to say, would have been able to clash Killua if we'd remembered to put on that extra -1. It'd be really nice if Kurapika had another -1 on right now. That is going to trigger sub and put Sarutobi at Sasuke. I hope Lark hasn't forgotten that we updated Sarutobi, because now Sasuke can't lose any strength until he goes and kills Sarutobi. Man, I really hope that after this game is over, I hear Lark say, oh yeah, I forgot that Sarutobi is different now. I would definitely move to Yuya back to Konoha if you're not going to play someone like... I think all of the other allies except Jirobo are in the discard. I really like to have an ally, a low... I like to have either Tsuyu, Sakon, and Ukon, or Kabuto there, because Tsuyu doesn't do much in terms of vanquishing and all that. What is Lark doing with this stack all allies at Forest of Death strategy? This can make it really difficult for Orochimaru to get kills because both of his moves can be messed up. Kidomaru's going to get another 1 here, and we do see Manda, so he didn't lose Manda earlier, so now Oto is nice and protected. Losing the sword for Sarutobi. Yeah, you got to get Sarutobi out of here, especially now that he's sitting at Konoha. Very strong turn from Lark. And then we're going to see another gain 2 with Outskirts and a discard, followed up by a Fate. Didn't get a recovery mission or a Gaara, which is unfortunate. Gaara here would have been incredible for C.atasyl. It would have been incredible. But Lee is a good consolation prize because Manda cannot open up Otogakari, which means going to Otogakari does basically nothing. And we do see Franklin clash, so Outskirts is back open again. Unfortunately, we do have a Melody coming up soon, which will get rid of Scarlet Eyes. There's also Silva in here to potentially kill Uvigan. So either one of those will be quite damaging. Big discard from Lark. Just didn't like much of his hand at all. He's just setting up the -1 on Lee with Killing Intent. And didn't get either of the two I was talking about. Is going to move Finks over to Outskirts, which makes him a lot weaker. You don't really want Finks at discard locations, to be honest. We're going to see over to Illumi and get a -1 onto Gon, get him a little weaker. And then it's the free Uvigan kill. I didn't think about that. Nice free Uvigan kill. And then what card play are we going to get here? We're going to get Lark. And it is going to be used on Illumi to get Gon down to 2 in a clash. It was very good cleanup by C.atasyl there. Very good. So this is what I'm talking about. Lark really needs to push some objective progress here, because I think this is Gaara and 2 recovery missions, or at least 1 recovery mission. So Sasuke is about to get moving. Lark really needs to get some of his allies in better position. Kitamaro is protecting Konoha and Tanzaku, which is nice, but I'd probably look at moving to Yuya back here just to be able to killing intent Sasuke later. We're going to see a C.atasyl followed by a Reincar, followed by a Forbidden to gain 2. Sasuke loses 1, which also gives 1 more power from the sealed coffin. Honestly, I probably would have... It's nice having the surplus of power when Kakashi's pretty far away, but I might have done another minus on Sasuke by paying for 4 Violet, but then he'd be at like 1 power right now. There is a recovery mission here, so definitely recover Sasuke. And is going to throw him straight over Otagakari, which I think is the right call, because putting him at Forest of Death Jirobo easily fixes that. I assume the Reincar didn't trigger, so I assume we saw a Scarlet Eye trigger on the move. They, as soon as one of them ends their turn, the next player is just instant. Yeah, this isn't too bad for C.atasyl. 6 cards out, and now 7 with Hisoka, and Hisoka's probably gonna get back Franklin. Might want Cortopi. Cortopi could also be good here, because I think Cortopi goes to auction and then can start attaching Finks, Uvigan, Scarlet Eyes, all good options. Rogue Limb is gone already. I think it's just the only the big hitter left in this Fate deck. Melody technically will take away an item, but then it's an easy clash. It is going to be Franklin. And the real big one left in here is Leorio, because I think Hatred, didn't we see Hatred earlier? I think we already saw Hatred go by. But that is going to be it for C.atasyl's turn. We're gonna see a Shed Skin, followed by a Curse Seal. In this economy, probably on, he's gonna put it on Lee so that he can maybe get the Monda kill on Lee for free. He'd have to move Kitamaro over or put another ally there. I probably would have just put it on Tayuya, so that when Kitamaro is eventually used, Tayuya is still a very strong cover. That'll get a -1 on Lee and a -1 on Sasuke. And that does have Lee all the way down to 0 already. And then it will be Kabuto there, so that's the free kill on Lee. But Sasuke is still sitting there, so it's not like that's going to give him access to Otagakure again. And because it doesn't give him access to Otagakure, I'm not really sure I agree with the play, to be honest. But, you know, it could have been worse. We are going to see Reincar triggered here via Illumi, which is going to get Sakon and Ukon, I believe, is the only one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 7 allies, aren't there? Who is it other than Sakon and Ukon? Oh, Kimimaro. Right, because he had to discard Kimimaro earlier, which is who he's going to take back now. That's fair. Kimimaro to protect Tanzaku would be pretty nice here. And we're going to see a Bloodbath at a cost for 2. Shalnark instead of Illumi for the kill here. Plus Uvigan will get that kill, get a power back, and then a Fate. And then, did we have a move action? Is there still a move action here? Checking to see if they want a multi-Fate. One of these is Jiraiya. I don't know what the other one is. I think it's Gaara. If you full Fate here, you're playing Gaara. So I'd probably full Fate and play Gaara. Gonna play Jiraiya. I don't hate it. Feel like I would probably play Gaara and move Kabuto to the stack at Forest of Death. And then let, like, Kitamaro claim the kill on Gaara. I'd probably move Lee to, like, I mean, Forest of Death wouldn't do anything. Probably move Lee to Konoha or something just to have him not get the easy... I guess you probably want to replay Lee, so letting him die here isn't a big deal. But the thing is covering all of these actions is really useful. That was the Monda kill, so Kitamaro is going to go here to kill Jiraiya. You also could have played Gar at a Forest of Death and then moved Kitamaro here, which is an interesting idea now that I think about it. But Kitamaro is gone, which is good. We are going to see Justice out here, so that's very annoying for C.atasyl. I was about to say we'll probably see Finks activated here, actually, just because the sheer amount of power that early Scarlet Eyes and very low deck Melody has given C.atasyl. Gives C.atasyl a lot of room to work with. We are going to see 2 cards discarded here, which is going to trigger Shedskin. We could potentially see Decomposing or the other card I'm thinking of off the top here. Dead Demon. I think this is still very much in Lark's favor because he has Monde and Kabuto out. Jirobo and Tsuyu are very effectively covering this. It's going to be Gar and Tsunade here. Not playing Gar again feels bad. I feel like playing Gar on the last one probably would have done better overall to try and put Monde or Kabuto also at Forest of Death if you're just going to be leaving it open anyway. But Tsunade is nice. Covers that gain 3 while Orochi is really low. And with Kitamaro gone, there's no covering there. We're going to see a Bana Lanov play. Or no, a Franklin play into Bana Lanov, I believe. And then discarding Bana Lanov and Finks to get rid of Justice. So this is why I was talking about earlier words, how C.atasyl can kind of start to take this game back. Is that now they focused a lot on clearing their territory and still managed to get a good amount of cards out at the same time. But they cleaned up their territory very nicely. They have a lot of fate pressure they can put out here while Orochi is at his weakest. Not getting what's-his-face here, Silva here, is quite unfortunate. Silva would be a very good pull on killing Uvigan or Hisoka here, probably Uvigan. But Zeno is also good. He is just a move to Underground Auction away from being killed, which, honestly, if I were C.atasyl, I'd probably take that turn. Underground Auction, activate a Lumi, move Greed Island or a Lumi over, and then punch Zeno. Go ahead and get him out of there. We are going to see just the Poison Kunai thrown onto Kabuto here. Lark really, this is the pain that you get from using Sakon and Ukon the way that Lark did. Lark really needs to get Sasuke back in position, but it's really not worth activating again and losing a Curse Seal and 3 Strength of Progress on him. We're actually seeing Greed Island here just to play, okay, this is, Greed Island, and then you can play Kaluto. Yep, there you go. That works even better than the Illumi play. Very good. So that put Zeno at -2, easy clash, and got Hisoka into position here. So we're going to see the move and Vanquish to just get rid of Tsunade with Kabuto, and that puts him -1 on Sasuke, so he's at 4 now. The problem is that with 0 power that Orochi is on right now, 4 strength on Sasuke is a surprising amount of strength when you're at 0 power. That's like quite a lot. So C.atasyl has a lot of room to work with, and we're going to see the Cortopi activate to attach Franklin. Playing Cortopi via Franklin and then throwing out Nobunaga. Just get another one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9, only 8 needed. We're going to see Dead Demon and Recovery. So not hitting a hero here is very unfortunate for C.atasyl. It's going to give Lark a lot of wiggle room. Honestly, I don't hate Dead Demon here because Lark really wants to take a Tanzaku turn. He really, really wants to take a Tanzaku turn right now, and not being able to play cards while gaining that 3 is really going to hurt him. He's probably going to go to Forest instead and then try and cover the top fate. This is a guaranteed Leorio, so that's definitely what he's going to do. And kill Uvigan or Kaluto. I'd probably kill Uvigan in that instance because you don't want to allow the York new free kill move someone over. But Lark is going to... I think he's going to have to ditch his hand here and then hope that whatever these 4 cards are, they're good combos to trigger Curse Seal, maybe get some more strength loss at Tanzaku the next turn. Did lose Kimimaro in a killing intent. Double loss on Kimi here really hurts. But stockpiling some power. This is Leorio if I'm not... Or not Leorio, it's Silva. Sorry, I think it's Silva if I'm not mistaken. And it is. Justice is really good. I'd probably just take Silva on Uvigan. Yeah, you have to choose Uvigan here because if you kill any of the strength loss ones, then it's so free for C.atasyl to go to York New, get the free Uvigan kill, move someone left, and then play a card as well. And that's just too good. So we're going to see a -1 on silver. Are we going to see another bloodbath play? We are. Ooh, man, another bloodbath here. And using Franklin to, honestly, I might have used Cortopi or Illumi on that one, to be honest, and kept Franklin attached to me. And then we're going to see the Greed Island move over. And this does open. C.atasyl knows that what they need to do more than anything right now is keep Fate pressure on Orochimaru. Another no hero Fate. That's super unlucky. C.atasyl has had a very rough game here. This has been very unfortunate for C.atasyl, and they've played it very well. We are going to see another decompose though, which is stalling Lark very effectively. Just goes to show that even when you don't get the heroes on Orochi, you can really benefit from those hand discards. It really neuters his turns. We are going to see Melody here at Outskirts, so that's going to be a free clash for C.atasyl. But it is going to make the Outskirts turn really bad and no triggers on it. It's just going to be a discard Fate. Finally got a hero. Unfortunately, also got it with a recovery mission. We are going to see, yeah, put recovery mission in your own discard. Genius. Going to take away that 1 power, though. I hope someone notices that recovery mission is not where it's supposed to be. We're going to see the gain 3 and then move Kakashi over to Konoha to open back up the top Fate. Lark knows that he also needs to be able to Fate on a dime here, especially because he has not been able to get Sasuke out. Oh, thank goodness they caught the recovery mission. I was going to be really worried that might actually come into play somehow with how this game played out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the 8 cards. A lot of them got to get moving, though. We're going to see a sub-jutsu thrown out. That's really strong for Lark right now because he really needs to be able to have some manipulation on his cards' positions to keep up the Fate pressure. We're going to see a bunch of discarding here. Lark doesn't want any of that. So it's very good for him getting through a lot of cards that he didn't want to see in the next couple of draws. And that does trigger another -1 on Sasuke. We're only 3 away, but he also has to have the card at the right time. He's going to choose to gain power here. I think that's probably the right play. He's been low on power for a while, and that's stopped him from getting some major progress, even when he's had some covered locations. We're going to see Nobunaga attached via Cortopi and Greed Island moved via the move action, and then a Fate. Do we see a play card there? Shuriken and Lee, so Lee covering Forest of Death, pretty good here. Lark really wants to see a Rashomon turn right now. A Rashomon turn at Forest of Death would give Lark a lot of momentum. We're going to see Shizuku for the play and moving over Franklin. So Crollo he's inching ever closer, and there's not much on his territory, whereas Orochi is very covered here. It's hard to say who has this game. A lot of it is going to come down to Orochi's upcoming draw order, what cards he gets to weaken Sasuke. And we're actually going to see an Otagakure turn here. Interesting. Getting Leorio and Kurapika. Oh, man, it really hurts to put Leorio down here instead of Kurapika, but also getting Hisoka, getting an ally out of this location is very good. But unfortunately, the problem is that a Shizuku move on your turn going here, and then you move back to the top Fate and Cortopi Hisoka back on, or Cortopi Shizuku even. It's looking pretty good for C.atasyl here. I'd kind of give them the edge right now. They've had a really good mid to late game, and now they have a lot of board control. They got back control of their Fates, and those well-timed bloodbaths being able to open up the top Fate to put repeated pressure on Lark has really hurt him. I also think Lark losing Sakon and Ukon so early and not being able to do a lot of movement stuff with Drobo to try and get Sasuke out of Otagakure. This isn't Orochimaru's worst situation, is Sasuke sitting here. That's another reason to play Leorio over Kurapika, by the way, is the substitution jutsu, because the substitution jutsu is really Lark's way out of this scenario right now. He really needs to be able to like swap Jirobo and Sasuke. Jiraiya here is quite painful. It's going to add a cost to getting back out some allies, and he could really use some allies for territory control right now. Lark does have a lot of power to effectively play through it for a turn, maybe even 2, but he really needs to either just get into Showdown so he can start playing he can start having Otagakure open. He really just needs Otagakure open is the main thing, and he's got Manda there, but as long as Sasuke is sitting there, he's drowning, essentially. Excuse me. tickle in my throat. So we are going to see Lark go over to Forest of Death, and he's paying 3, so probably an ally. Oh, Sword, actually. Okay, getting Sword out. And then we're going to see a 2-cost Poison Kunai on Jirobo, followed by, there's the Summon Rashomon. Okay, and that is going to get 2 minuses on Sasuke, and it's going to get a power back with Sealed Coffin, thanks to Kakashi losing one there, if Lark remembers to click his power up one. Yep. And he gets to Clash Lee. That a Summon Rashomon turn, I said it a turn or two ago, that's exactly what he needed to get back in here. D. Gessner's making sure that was legal, which you need to do when you're judging Orochimaru. So very easily, Lark can just get the Jirobo kill on Kakashi to get Sasuke to 0. I think one of these is either Sakura or a recovery mission. Sorry, I've got such a tickle in my throat. I've been talking so much today that we're doing a late night recording for this one. This has been a great game, though. So we're going to see Shizuku moved over with the move action. Who is the... Do we not get a Cortopi on, like, Hisoka here or something? It was the Illumi was activated to put Leorio in Clash. And then we're going to see Pakunoda played, which is Crollo's location. Oh, changing their mind. I would probably attach Kaluto or Cortopi to myself here, to be honest. This subjutsu is going to be, we're going to see the Shalnark play instead to move Shizuku, activate Shizuku's ability again, and then I think you still have a move left over, maybe, unless I missed one. This subjutsu proccing could be a very big deal. Could be a very, very big deal. I think this is Recovery Sakura, but I might be wrong. One of them should definitely be Sakura. I feel like we haven't seen her in this shuffle. Oh, it was Sarutobi Sakura, my mistake. Well, unfortunately, because Manda is sitting at Odo, you can't really have Sarutobi stop Sasuke from getting to 0. It is just going to be Sarutobi on the Forest of Death. This is going to be a really hard in-game state for Lark to deal with. If he does manage to get Sasuke killed here soon. But with Manda sitting at Odo, he'll be able to make a lot of use of Odo of weakening allies and taking the Vanquish activates. But Lark he doesn't have a lot of power right now, and he does not have a lot of material on board for kills. We are going to see him just go and take his Fate turn, and it will be a Hatred. Judgment Chain won't be doing... Well, Judgment Chain, Shizuku, and Franklin Mectatafe wouldn't be the worst. Oh, no, Silva's in the discard. Never mind. Sorry, forget I said anything. Use Silva Shalnark here, 1000%. And then that's another 3-strengther for Subjutsu. A Subjutsu play to, like, swap Jiraiya or Sarutobi into the Otagakari kill would do a lot for Lark. Is he going to take the kill on Kakashi here? He only loses 1 power, and it puts Sasuke at 0. He has Sword out, so I don't know where the snake is, where White Snake is, but having Sasuke at 0 threatens at any time just go into Forest, gaining 1, playing White Snake, and then getting into Showdown. And really, more than anything else right now, Lark just needs to hit Showdown. We're going to see a Hisoka trigger. Surely you just take Shalnark off the top. Gonna take Scarlet Eyes, actually. He is a little low on power now. I feel like, personally, I still would have taken Shalnark here and then played Shalnark into activating Hisoka. The real question is if you clash Leorio here and give Lark the substitution jutsu. It might depend on what this Fate is. And for the Fate, we're going to see Sakura. Sakura buys 1 more turn for Sasuke, which is very annoying for Lark. And we will clash Leorio here and then activate the sub because they don't have to worry about Sasuke right now. You can actually swap Sasuke and Sakura here, and then you could just like take a gain 3 at Tanzaku, discard if you don't have the cards you need to get White Snake, and then you get to go clash Sakura next turn at the bottom Fate. I don't hate that. That's an option. Could also swap Orochi and Sarutobi, go to Otagakari, have Manda kill Sarutobi, and Fate again. Oh, I think he's actually just going to swap Jiraiya and Sasuke. Interesting. Really wants to get Jiraiya out of there. I mean, he needs to be playing out more allies, so Jiraiya is a major pain right now for sure. And then we are just going to see the Tanzaku turn, gain 3. And then, honestly, if If you don't have Whitesnake in hand, you probably discard most, if not everything you have. Oh, and he is just going to immediately take the sword into Sakura to get rid of her. Yeah, it's a very Lark play. I respect it. Don't tell me you have Bloodbath again. Bloodbath would lose at least Kaluto. Kaluto's a 2. We are just going to see the Shizuku move. And it was the -1 on Silva via Lumi. So I guess we're just taking a move and then playing Scarlet Eyes for net 0. And clashing Silva. Just, again, really wants to keep the territory clean. Because, little known fact, you can definitely stall Orochi in Showdown if you can Fate him enough. If he doesn't have a bunch of allies out. He did finally get Otagakuri back, and then he blocks Sarutobi. I'm a little worried about not having access to a play card at Sasuke with Sword gone. Gone is a really good get here. Playing him there and killing Shizuku is nice. Honestly, I probably would have killed Hisoka here over Franklin, even though that's one more person that's still closer to whatchamacallit. He is going to take the Scarlet here instead of Franklin. I probably would have taken Franklin, to be honest, and played out Franklin and another card. And we're going to see Pakanoda on Hisoka. So with 2 on him and 2 at the location, and one of the ones at the location is Shizuku, with 1 at Yorknew, this is essentially 5 cards ready to go at Hideout. So he just needs 3 more cards to get over there. We're going to see another Kakashi here. Kakashi here actually really hurts. Losing another 2 power. What is Lark going to do? Yuya isn't getting any kills anytime soon. Could go to Konoha, move to Yuya to Tanzaku, and kill Sasuke. Reset all of his progress. Just to flex on his opponent. This has been a real back and forth game. This Fate Storm that C.atasyl managed to open in the mid-game really made up for that weak early game that C.atasyl had, where Orochi had a lot of the momentum. As soon as the momentum shifted for... Yeah, moving Sealed Coffin to Forest of Death is a really good call here. As soon as the momentum shifted in Crollo's favor, it became a very Crollo-favored game. Like, it really is. For both of these villains, they really love to have the Fate momentum, and they really suck when the Fate momentum is against them. It gets very difficult for them. We're going to see a 4 Violet, which pays for itself due to Sealed Coffin on Sarutobi. That gets him down to 3. Not enough for Tayuya, though. Unless maybe there's a Poison Kunai. Poison Kunai is perfect here for Lark. And he is also going to get another Substitution Jutsu out, which is very useful. Into a Forbidden Experiments, which gets him back 2 power. Very important. You definitely, even though it leaves his territory bereft, you definitely take the kill on Sarutobi here, because you also get to put a -1 on Kakashi. So that does mean you can clash Kakashi. It does also, unfortunately, mean you'd lose out that 2 power. But outside of a crazy Bloodbath here, which may be happening... Oh, replaying Nobunaga for the Bloodbath and then Bloodbathing Hisoka. Okay, so C.atasyl is giving up all of the attach progress that C.atasyl had, that they had purely to get this kill on Gon and open up the top Fate. And again, just really focusing on, like, doing very... C.atasyl is in this for the long haul. They are prepared to take a very slow progress and just focus on Fating to keep Orochimaru stuck from being able to get into Showdown. And Gaara here is very damaging. You probably put Sasuke back on Otagakure and then have Gaara cover Tanzaku. You could also have him cover Forest of Death. Try and keep that Fate pressure. Yeah. We're going to see Lark go over to Forest of Death, and it's going to be... He finally got Kimimaro out. This is the big reason that Lark has been having a hard time. He got very unlucky on the timing of the hand discards, taking out Kimimaro both times. Honestly, if he could look back on it, I wonder if he would have done it differently. And then Dead Demon right after playing Kimi as well. Although, honestly... It's probably still better to play Tsunade here to cover Forest or Otagakure, either or. And I think that is what he's going to do. But now Lark finally has his undying ally, and he can really start to get pressure back. Lark is going to get to kill Gaara and clash Kakashi on his turn. We're seeing a lot of discards from C.atasyl. C.atasyl only has 3 cards now, went back from essentially having 5 to now only having 3 readily available at Hideout in exchange for some more Fate. We are going to see a Spider Limb to put Hisoka back on, making a potential danger of Bloodbath once more, because Hisoka with Bloodbath can really open up a lot of stuff. And so Lark has a great Otagakure turn here. He's going to lose that 1 power he has, but he gets to kill Gaara. What 2 cards does he have to give up? Hopefully not Whitesnake. I don't know if Whitesnake is in the discard. Lark might have, like, way further to go for Whitesnake than I realize. Not Whitesnake. Probably leave Kimi at Tsunade, hopefully you get her later, and then you just clash Kakashi, and that cleans up your board pretty nicely. Oh, he's changing his mind? Oh, he's going to Fate first. Oh, double crush the Spider. That's a very bad time to get hit with that. Can't even try and set up a whatchamacallit, forcing a substitution. That is very rough for Lark. That's very rough. He is still going to get to clean out Kakashi and Gaara here. Whew, man, it's still really hard to tell. The lack of any kind of hero there is really rough for Lark, and works very well for C.atasyl. In fact, I think it still keeps it a little favored for C.atasyl as a result, to be honest, because now C.atasyl gets this very strong, uncontested underground auction turn. Moving over Cortopi. So C.atasyl can go to Yorknew next turn, activate Cortopi to take one of these 3, move Cortopi in potentially, and really set up being near. Oh, and with a Spider Limbs as well. Ooh. Yeah, not getting any meaningful hero there whatsoever might be the game decider, as well as getting to put out another Fate. Okay, well, you know, tit for tat, double Shuriken. Double Shuriken is surprisingly potent here, though, because Kimimaro is all Lark has going, so actually not even that bad of a Fate. It's definitely not nearly as bad as Crush the Spider. We're going to see Lark go gain 3 and do a big discard. I'm wondering, does he not have Whitesnake? I'm kind of surprised he wouldn't just go to Forest of Death and play Whitesnake to hopefully have an opportunity to take out Sasuke. We're actually not going to see the big Yorknew play. C.atasyl is going to go for another Faded Outskirts. Did have a Spider Limbs to pick up Scarlet Eyes, so I guess that makes sense. Because now, this is 8 on board. Because Shizuku will move Cortopi in, and then we're going to see Lee cover Otagakure. Yeah, I think C.atasyl has this on lock. Lark, unfortunately, the timings on his Kimimaro losses and just the sheer storm of fates that Chrollo was able to put out with those very well-timed bloodbaths to keep Sasuke at Otagakure for so long and just cause so many problems. Yeah, here's the rogue limb that you really wanted to see like a turn ago. You probably put Hisoka at Outskirts. I know what Lark is doing. He's trying to, like, absolutely stop progress here, but I think you really need to hope that Chrollo just doesn't have a trick to get into Showdown without Hisoka and put the 4-strengther at Outskirts to hold it down. Personally. We're actually going to see C.atasyl go and just do another Fate. Put a -1 on Shizuku. I guess you got nothing better to do, yeah. Another Fate and then get another ally over there. Gonna move Finks in. That's 7. Doesn't have a Shalnark or a Shizuku to make Cortopi the 8th. And with Shizuku blocking the double play, can't do a... yeah, moving Cortopi makes way more sense. Yeah. Moving Cortopi means that there are now 8 there. So, this is probably game. If they have it in hands, then it's over. If they have Phantom Troop, then it's over. And Greed Island is there, so it's absolutely game, actually. No, you have to use Cortopi, though. So it has to be in hand. You have to use the Cortopi trigger to get Finks in as number 8, and then just class with Shizuku. I don't think that Rogue Limbing Hisoka instead would have saved this game for Lark, but I definitely think it would have been the better play overall. And Sakura is back out, putting Sasuke back up to 9, so... The only thing Lark could do here to potentially extend this is if he can play Manda here, if he has Manda in hand. That's the only option. That's the only way this game continues. Otherwise, it's 99% sure it's over. We're going to see Sakon and Ukon. It would have to be like Forbidden and Demanda because Tsunade is making it more expensive to play effects and schemes. And then just playing White Snake to be able to clash Sasuke next turn. That should be game. Krotopi to attach Finks, and then Phantom Troop, and then clash Shizuku. That is game. Yeah, that's that is essentially how Crollo wins this matchup, is putting all effort into opening the top fate and bouncing between it and the bottom fate in that mid to late game. That is when Orochi is at his weakest, is when Sasuke out. Once Sasuke got out, Lark just did not have the setup to control the board, especially when Sasuke moved. So Sasuke got moved to Otagakari, and then he sat on Otagakari. Sasuke was on Otagakari for like 5 turns or something. It was more than 5 turns even, I think. So that'll really kill him. Orochi has to be able to get those Otagakure turns. So that absolutely was killer for Lark. So now Lark is going to be the starting player again, which means he gets to ban first. And we're going to see him ban. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's going to ban Griffith again. I guess Lark has decided he doesn't want to play against Griffith today. I think Lark normally does that. He normally picks a villain that he's like, I don't want to deal with this today, and then he just blocks it. We're going to see the Yaldabaoth ban. And then C.atasyl is going to play Crollo again. Just going to run back Crollo, so I'm going to be needing Crollo for this thumbnail. Now, is Lark going to do the salty run back, or is he going to pick someone different? He's going to pick Light. He's going to go with his main guy. Trying to think of who I would pick if I was counter-picking Crollo. Crollo's a bit of a rough one to counter-pick. I feel like with Crollo's ability to reclaim his fates in the mid to late game at the cost of progress, I would probably be looking at picking someone like Diaboromon or maybe even Toguro. Someone who really doesn't mind the late game fates, kind of just like becomes indestructible at that end game, but can consistently fate Crollo back turn after turn, potentially eke out a turn 1 fate. Griffith actually might be a good pick for that now that I think about it. You get that early fate pressure on Crollo, and then that mid game where you don't care as much is your weakest. Where you don't care as much about being fate spammed. Well, instant Kurapika on Underground Auction again is very funny. Griffith does care about being fated in the mid game a little more than I made it out to be, but you know. And then we're going to see discarding Amnesia and just throwing out a Cure Cult just for the sake of having a scheme out. Could potentially be seeing a Justice planned if this Cure Cult doesn't get triggered, and I don't think this Cure Cult is getting triggered on this turn. Turn 1 Kaluto is really good for C.atasyl here. Gets the -2 on Kurapika ASAP. Can now just go and clash him if needed. Was going to discard Maki there, but is thinking twice about it. Maybe considering going to Yorknew next turn and playing, or not Maki, Machi, sorry. But no, is just going to discard Machi. I was thinking maybe you play Machi into Kaluto and then do the Vanquish, but I don't think you want to lose Kaluto on that. We're going to see Watari and Aizawa. Watari early is really good for C.atasyl, pretty bad for Lark, because it means that L, who is basically going to be sitting around for most of the game, gets thrown onto into the thing. We are going to see Lark is not going to go for another fate to try and protect Kurapika. He's actually just going to go get Watari off the top fate and get a name with Social Manip. We are going to see the trigger on Kaluto, so this will be a clash with Kurapika, and that does waste the Kira Cult. Must not have had a scheme into just his plan, and then we're just going to see the Vanquish, and not going to move Kaluto, actually. Going to leave Kaluto there for defense, which I think is probably good early, because you really want to be able to keep that top fate open against Light. What is Lark's card play going to be here? We're going to see a Delete discard, followed by a Death Note, not cards he wants early at all. Going to throw out Last Resort, which will be sitting there for a while, and then we're going to get Justice and Zeno. A little unfortunate not to get Justice, but this early in the game, Justice is really easy to just get rid of. And Lark is actually going to make the decision to make Outskirts a pretty bad location with Zeno, instead of playing him directly into the Kaluto kill, even though it would alleviate some fate pressure, forcing a turn of moving to Underground Auction without the fate and clashing Zeno. I'm not sure I agree with it, to be honest. That does get L straight onto yellow box, so he's going to be holding that down for a bit. Will Lark be trying to take another Fate here? It depends on his hand, probably. If he has expensive cards he wants out fast, he's probably going to Yagami, but he doesn't. He's going to Task Force. He's going to play Misinfo. Are we going to see a Just as Planned? We are indeed, one of Lark's favorite plays. And Wanton Watari. Matsuda and Nier are both very good early names to get. And we will see Gone. That's a very rough Gone, though. See, this is why I really wish he had put Zeno here. He'd be in a much better position. He could have covered Outskirts with Gone and then gotten rid of it. He is going to just take the York New City block and leave the Fate open at Underground, which probably means he's conceding that he's going to need Amnesia relatively soon. But he is already up 2 names, and it's 2 of the most annoying names to have to deal with, which is good for him. Matsuda and Nier can cause a lot of problems. We're going to see a Franklin play and apparently no follow-up play. Alias are in prison. Yeah, you probably just throw him in prison here. You've already seen 3 of the 8 schemes go by, so could potentially cost Lark a lot of time if he didn't luck into 2 more immediately. He does have Battle of Wits. Doesn't look... Oh, he's going to Desperate Gambit here. Oh, no, he's actually not going to Desperate Gambit. He's just going to get Chief Yagami out to be able to move L out next turn. And we are going to see the Franklin into Finks. Yeah, I understand what Lark was going for with the Zeno play, but I do feel like he would have been... Whoa, that's a big discard. I feel like he would have been better off with Zeno at Underground and then just hoping for something like Gone, or just for the sake of buying himself an extra turn of not being faded. And it's going to be Ide to just immediately make Chief Yagami be in the worst position in the history of time. So that makes Chief Yagami pretty weak. Are we going to see Shinigami Eyes maybe on Yagami here? We're going to see a Fate first. Another double Crush the Spider, and this one doesn't even hit any power. That is super unlucky for Lark. To get that Fate twice in a day? Holy cow, that's like very unlikely. We're going to see the Paranoid Prep play to get rid of Imprison, to get that out of there. That sucks, man. That really sucks. Lark, he's really paying for not putting Zeno at auction now. So Complications doesn't have a target, so it's obviously Nier. Not really a good target. You have to, you got to cover Yagami Residence here if you don't want Nier to just be killed. And we're going to see Bono Lanov thrown out. Yeah, again, I can't, man. I don't think it's like lost him the game or anything. There's still a lot of game to go here before we really know. We're going to see Finks moved over to Hideout. But I think Lark outthought himself a little bit with not putting Zeno at Underground Auction that one turn. We're going to see another Social Manip here, and he's actually going to use it to get a name. I'm kind of surprised that Lark didn't use it to move and just get Nier off the board to open up a location. I feel like that's a pretty usual play for him. And he's getting faded back and forth now. And now he's going to get the Matsuda lock to get him out of a Fate. Yeah, Lark needs Amnesia fast. And that's gonna open up a location for him, which is really good. And he's gonna throw down Kira Cult, which will potentially let him get some more movement with Chief Yagami pretty quickly here. Lark has 3 names, and 3 of those heroes are of the 5 on board, so he can theoretically still get out of this without just needing a lot of Amnesia. But that being said, it's looking with this is just non-stop fading. All because Lark didn't cover that, debating if you're gonna let Lark, kill Chief Yagami. Probably for the best. This does let Lark get, not 2 kills. He just gets 1 kill. But, and we're gonna see a Binding Loyalty. And that'll be it for that turn. So Lark is gonna go to Yagami Residence, get a lot of power here. He's gonna get to kill one of the people here. Probably Matsuda will be the one of choice. He's gonna throw out a Misinfo. Do we have another Justice Plan? No, it's going to be a Paranoid Prep. Just get a lot of stuff out and then discard Patient Plotting. He's getting faded every single turn, so he doesn't need to bother with trying to do Patient Plotting right now. It's not going to happen. Not going to take another Fate turn. Even though it would kill the worthless Kira Cult. Discarding 2 cards does trigger Misinfo, which would let Lark open up his top Fate, so you don't want to do that. And then getting the refund on Scarlet Eyes and then throwing out Greed Island to pick whatever card is left here. We're starting to reach a bit of critical Crollo here. Lark has really he's gotta start clearing this territory a bit faster, or get like 2 more names, ideally, in the next couple of turns here. I think we saw him discard a Desperate Gambit earlier, but he should still have 1 Desperate Gambit. We're gonna see a Fate. Immediate Melody here is really good. Oh man. This is a tough pick because I really don't like leaving Scarlet Eyes out when they're so low, but he also really needs a breather from all this fate pressure. Like, desperately, Lark needs a breather from all of this fate pressure. He's checking to see what this last fate is. I haven't been keeping track. We saw Mogi pass. I think we saw Aizawa. I think it might be the other complications. Did we only see one complication? Complication just gets rid of probably misinfo here. So it would be a full fate, hoping for a hero off the top. Or are we seeing God of the New World for Amnesia? We are seeing God of the New World for Amnesia. Very interesting. And then the Desperate Gambit to gain 2 and get L's name. So, oh, it's Accusation, actually. My mistake. We had seen the other complication. And then using Paranoid Prep on the Accusation reveal to discard. There's not really a good Accusation here, to be honest. There are no targets. There are no allies out. El and Watari don't have on-plays. Nier doesn't do any kind of useful swapping. So that was a very good Desperate Gambit for Lark. And now he's got Amnesia out with 4 names. If he can snag like 2 more names pretty quick here and then go into a delete and start cleaning up this territory, he can definitely take this game. We are going to see Kira Cult, which does nothing here. So that's, again, a missed Kira Cult, unfortunately. And just the 2 power gain off of Scarlet Eyes. There's going to be no misinfo trigger, probably. Not discarding more than 2 cards here is really rough. You also have to decide if you want to do it right now or not. If you're going to discard more than 2 cards, you trigger misinformation first, then you fate. If you're going to discard more than 2, then you want to give him the misinfo first. Oh, he chose, instead of Scarlet Eyes, he chose to do Illumi because he wants to punch Zeno. That's very fair. And then he is going to fate, so I assume we're not going to be discarding 2 cards. Getting another Imprison, you still don't want to discard 2, even if it gets rid of the misinfo for Imprison. Lark is probably going to Light's apartment. Yeah, to move over. Does he have... We've seen a lot of schemes go by. Does he have a scheme left to get rid of Imprison here? I'm not sure that he does. Which, if he doesn't, that's going to be really rough for him. That top deck Imprison could cause him a lot of trouble. Is he playing Rem right now? He is playing Rem right now. And then he's just going to leave Rem to use later. Always very nice to have Rem out whenever you get the opportunity because it opens up the possibility of opening Yellow Box. We are going to see no fate here. Probably didn't have a way to fate, to be honest. It would have taken a bloodbath that just gave up Bana Lanov. So no fate here. Which means that Lark will get to go to Yellow Box. He really needs that discard because I don't think he has... There might be one more scheme. I'm not sure. Honestly, in this board state right here, if I were C.atasyl, I might just trigger misinfo to keep Imprison out longer, because Lark is getting the top fate either way, so... In this position, I guess all that Lark really gets out of... Sorry, tickle my throat. All Lark gets out of misinfo is putting Mello at his apartment. Since he doesn't have Mello's name yet, so that's where he wants all heroes to be, really, is at the apartment. Although there is a Mogi play in his future, which is going to be very problematic. What do we have going on here? Is C.atasyl's looking at a Hisoka target? Yeah. It's going to be Greed Island. With the reshuffle happening here, that's pretty good. And then choosing to attach Franklin here could potentially, doesn't have the power for it for this next turn, but could potentially be trying to set up a Melody murder. That is going to be a double discard, which triggers misinfo. So I imagine we're going to see Mello to the apartment? Yeah. Mello's the best one to move because it doesn't have Mello's name. But unfortunately, now Lark needs 2 schemes, so I think we're probably going to see a big discard from Light. It'd be really good if Lark has Kiyomi in hand right now. Kiyomi to Yagami Residence, and then discard the hand. We're going to see Mikami, not a Mikami discard. Doesn't want to trigger Binding Loyalty, maybe? I don't think you really mind triggering Binding Loyalty right now, to be honest. Yep, that is gonna be it. Is that last card Kiyomi? A Kiyomi play would be ideal for Lark right now. He's gotta draw fast. That Imprison was very unlucky timing for him. But he does have a bit of fate pressure right now. Getting like a Killua or just someone strong in general. Leorio wouldn't even be that bad to like move Hisoka or someone away from hideout. Wouldn't be too bad. I don't think have we seen Rogue Limb? Rogue Limb on Hisoka would be very painful right here. I would think. Killua and Leorio. Probably Killua to Outskirts just to keep it locked down longer because it's not an easy Illumi fix. Oh, is he actually... He's going to double cover because that's an easy uncover on the top fate. You have your bottom fate available next turn, so... And you can't... They can't bloodbath at Underground Auction right now. Yeah, so I would cover Outskirts, make that turn worse. And we're actually going to see a delete to go ahead and kill Nier and get back the ability and then kill Ide. So Lark is in his ideal light layout. This is how Lark likes his light territory. As many heroes as possible at Light's apartment and nowhere else. So you are going to see Cortopi... Oh, no, changing his mind. I think there's a Rogue Limb coming up. You might want to go to York New and use Hisoka to kill Gon. We're going to see Illumi attached, and then Hisoka moved, and then Clash Melody. Hisoka Rogue Limit Hideout can also be really good. Lark actually isn't going to take the Fate Pressure turn here. He's going to do a heavy discard. He's not going to play Kiyomi? Why? Huh. I'm very intrigued by the no Kiyomi play there. What does he have that he needs power for? Choosing not to do Matsuda because Matsuda will immediately die. Instead, he's going to have Aizawa block. This is all of the names that Lark does not have. So that makes Task Force HQ worse, not a double play. And then L, the most annoying one, is back on Yellow Box. Good call. We're going to see, oh yeah, when Misa is played or moved, so that's going to get the Rem kill on the open, so I guess that's why he kept the power over Kiyomi. And then there's Hatred and Rogue Limb. Ooh, Hatred with Rogue Limb is unfortunate. Gonna Rogue Limb Cortopi onto Underground Auction instead of... Is this last one Silva? Instead of pulling Silver or Zeno here? I definitely would have taken Zeno here, I feel like. Or even Rogue Limb to Soka. Rogue Limb on Hisoka would really slow down. He hears me? He hears me? No, don't do it to Bottle It Off. That's maybe the worst fate. That might be the worst one. I really don't agree with that play from my boy Lark. We are going to see Battle of Wits thrown out, but there's no targets for Battle of Wits. So if there's a scheme to be played here, a scheme being played would be really rough. Yeah, this is easily resolved with Bloodbath as well, if Bloodbath is in hand. No, if I was Lark, I would have been playing Zeno from the discard here, even if it is just an Illumi play. If he uses the Illumi play to get rid of a Zeno play, he can't open it with Bloodbath, and also Illumi gets placed at Underground instead of being attached to go to Hideout. I really don't agree with that that Bonolanov play, personally. We're going to see a Greed Island play, so at least it's not going to be a Bloodbath instant open. That's good for Lark. Honestly, I still feel... Unless Silva was in the discard, I still feel like Rogue Limbing Hisoka would have been really painful. A 4-strength blocking the double play discard can do a lot. And we're going to see the Greed Island move and then the clash with Bonolanov. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. We're going to see Lark go over to Yagami Residence. We're going to see double Kira Cult and get rid of those. And now there are targets for Battle of Wits, which is fantastic for Lark. And then he just has his discard left because that was his double. That was both of his plays. And he's actually going to keep the cards in his hand, it looks like. This is looking decently well for Lark. He really needs to start getting some more names, though. He hasn't gotten one in a hot minute. He's getting a little behind in that regard. No hero here is pretty good, though. The accusation doesn't hit Misa with Mello, so that's really good. He's actually just going to kill Battle of Wits to stop a potential... trigger on that and to adjust his plan. We're going to see Lark go for a Fate. I don't remember what this last one is. It might be Silva because I don't think we saw Silva, and it was Silva indeed. Silva is a good pull here. And then Silva's just going to kill Cortopi. Very nice. I think if it was Rogue Limb on Hisoka, I think that Rogue Limbing Hisoka was the right call. But with the top fate open. I think Silva on the top fate also getting to kill an ally, even if Ahsoka can bring it back. I think this is the right play because Lark is in a good position right now, and he has patient plotting. Unfortunately, a bloodbath will stop that patient plotting, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bloodbath. But if that happens, not going to be the bloodbath, actually. I was going to say, if that bloodbath happens at Underground just to stop this one name token, it's going to set back, C.atasyl a lot. Instead, we're going to see the Illumi play here into the -1 on Kilowatt to get the free Uvigan kill. Very strong play there. There's Aizawa's name. Really wanted to see Mello or Watari there, and unfortunately did not get them, so still does not have these 3 names specifically. But Lark is getting very close to the point where he can Desperate Gambit his way into Showdown, and if Lark gets into Showdown before Krollo has, like, at least 6 cards at Hideout, then it's going to be very hard for C.atasyl to win. We are going to see a Desperate Gambit, unfortunately, hitting an Alias. Honestly, he would have preferred a hero here, I think, instead. We are going to see the Paranoid prep beforehand, and Lark has a second play a card, so he could potentially draw into something he really wants to play. He is not going to take an Amnesia here. Another hero isn't being played, and he's going to be at 5 names after the Alias, so he doesn't think he's going to get a Justice Plan trigger, so he's going to give up on that as well. And it is, of course, going to be Mello's name going back in to protect Mello for another turn. These aren't the 3 names he's missing, by the way. He has L's name, but L doesn't count. It's Mogi is the one who's not in play that he doesn't have the name for. My mistake. L's name is always weird, so you know. We're just going to see a discard on delete. He must not have drawn another good card to play, and yet he's still keeping 2 cards in his hand. I really wish I could see his hand right now, because I'm really confused at why he's keeping cards in hand but just not playing them. He must have some really good timing plans for them. And we're going to see a fate here, of course. There's Mogi, one of the last of the 3 names that Lark doesn't have, and that is going to move him back to his bottom fate, which is very unfortunate. And now Uvigan is set up to, with the Shizuku play, to easily kill Silva. Yeah, I could see putting Mogi at Yagami Resonance here. He's checking to see if Lark has, that one card. If Lark has, Social Manipulation. If it's possible that he has it. I don't know how many, if any, are in the discard out of the 2 of them. Very easy to open this up as well with Uvigan there in Bloodbath. We are going to see the Social Manip. That gets Mogi's name. Not going to be seeing a Bloodbath Uncover at Underground Auction. Is going to get a -1 on Gone with Illumi, and then the free Uvigan kill words on Silva. Krollo is starting to pull back some serious... ooh, are we going to see Illumi move here? Actually going to be Shizuku. Honestly, I wouldn't have hated Illumi there just to be able to clash Gone and get this territory clean, although that would put Gone back into the Fate deck, which could potentially backfire. Is going to get to kill Mogi here, which is nice. Lark really needs to start pumping out all this power into something. Rem, Ryuk, etc. A Ryuk into a Misa move to Yagami Residence, and then the Mogi kill could be really good here. We're going to see Last Resort thrown down. I don't know if we have any Justice Plans coming up. Justice Plan and then a Fate. We're going to see Hatred and Zeno here, so good thing he didn't get the Gon kill this turn. I mean, you just play Silva onto Uvigan, I think. It sucks not to kill Shalnark here, but I think you have to lock back down that top Fate and try and keep it locked down. Because Lark needs a little bit of wiggle room right now to get these last 2 names and get into Showdown. He is going to kill Shalnark, though. He is going to leave Uvigan for the free kill and stop Shalnark to stop any progress. I don't dislike it, because Shalnark is one of the most important ones, and he is going to throw out a Patient Plotting and just hope it works. I don't know what this fate is here. That will kill Mogi. It will force a hero being played to go to here, unless it's Aizawa, to do some moving shenanigans, so it'll leave his Yagami Residence open at least. I mean, I think you full Fate here. You might pull Imprisoned, who knows? Imprisoned would hurt Lark pretty good here. Oh my goodness, he got Imprisoned off the top twice. That's super unlucky for Lark. This has been a very rough light game. So thankfully he has Last Resort out, and That's not another hero on board, but it does block the patient plotting. And again, Mello and Watari are the two names that Lark does not have. We're going to see Machi thrown out. I think we might have a Rogue Limb coming up. This is a very dangerous thing to do with Uvigan. Although Lark doesn't have access to his fates right now, so shouldn't really matter all that much. I really hope Lark has a scheme, because if he doesn't, it's going to look pretty rough. God of the New World into Battle of Wits. Not a great use of God of the New World, unfortunately, but you got to do what you got to do. And then playing just his plan to trigger Battle of Wits to play out 2 more schemes to discard for Imprisoned, and then that's going to be all of his play cards. Is it going to be Last Resort or the Paranoid Prep you get rid of here? There's no reason to keep the Cure Cult. Going to keep the Last Resort. Getting Imprisoned off the top of the deck like 2 times in a row is really rough for Lark. I've never seen Lark have this much power in a light game. This is going to be a super free bloodbath to get more fate pressure going again. Going to move Shizuku over. So this is going to move Greed Island, actually. Interesting. 4 cards here. Shizuku moving over will be the 5th, but basically be 6. That'll open up Underground Auction. Ooh, and Matsuda here hurts. Cover Yagami Residence and move Lark over. Lark, if Lark has like a social manip to get the 7th name or something, could be good. He's actually going to go over to Light's apartment and play Yagami and get L out of the top fate. Okay. Well, C.atasyl obviously doesn't like that and is going to go gain a ton of power and fate. Didn't get a hero, and none of these heroes are hero movement, so an accusation doesn't really do much here. This is basically just, you can accuse Mello to kill Yagami. Yeah, it's not too bad. But it does give Lark access to his top fate. So Lark really has to take advantage of this moment. He's going to get to top fate and kill Matsuda. He really has to take advantage of this and get some fate pressure back on C.atasyl, because C.atasyl is reaching a point of having so many cards on board that it's going to become pretty inevitable to have enough at Hideout soon. Now we're going to see Lark go over to Yellow Box, unsurprisingly. He's checking his discard. He's already used God of the New World, though. Is he trying to see what cards he has coming up for potential names? And we're going to see Ryuk played. And then a huge discard of Schemes, followed by a Fate. Justice is probably his best option here. I don't hate Judgment Chain. You could Judgment Chain Shizuku all the way back. Nah, you don't really want to put her all the way back at Outskirts. If you Judgment Chain, you probably like move Hisoka and move Greed Island both over 1. Or he's actually gonna move Gon to Underground Auction, and Uvigan should still have a +1 on him, shouldn't he? Unless he got replayed by Crollo's ability at some point, and that kills Matsuda. And he's just gonna cover the top fate to buy himself a turn of not being fated. So he really just wants to be able to not get hit by anything here. He is going to be able to go to Task Force. He'll have 2 card plays, and he'll be able to move Misa into playing an Eyes on Misa with Ryuk. Or are we just going to see... We're going to see Nobunaga into Bloodbath here. So that is going to open that back up regardless. Then we'll see an Accusation and an Alias, and that's just going to put L back on the top fate. Not the worst fate for Lark. Not getting a hero there is pretty good, but L on the top fate obviously stinks because Chief Yagami is in the discard, so he's not coming back anytime soon. If he had gotten Double Crush the Spider there again, I would have lost my friggin' mind. It's probably Uvigan or Hisoka. He is going to take the Hisoka this time. I think that's probably for the best, because Uvigan isn't really doing anything for C.atasyl right now. Well, you have the easy Misa move into an Eyes play with Ryuk. Does he have anything else that can potentially get a name? Lark really needs to get Mello or Watari's name and get him dead here. Because now that L is back on the top fate, it's not going to be easy to get pressure back. But if he can just snag these last two names... Oh, Lark just has both Shinigami Eyes in play and is going to play them. So that forces a fate, because it's like game over otherwise. Does get Nier and Mogi, so obviously that's going to be able to stop the eyes. Gonna play Nier. Not far. Then swap Nier and Misa to do that, yeah. Does Lark have another social manip coming up? Ooh, Pakanoda here into the attach on Scarlet is really strong. That hideout play is getting mighty close. What does Lark have this turn? He's going to go over here and just set Misa over there again. I think he's got to do something else. That is going to move Ryuk. He can do the move Ryuk here, spend 3, get the Death Note, and kill Nier via Death Note on Misa. I don't hate that. But I mean, C.atasyl has the Fates open and is going to be able to stop this Misa hit. I don't know what these two Fates are, but I assume one of them is a hero. All C.atasyl needs is a hero. I see Pakanoda moved over. Ide and Aizawa. Yeah, Ide will super do it. Although I don't hate Aizawa here and then moving Mello or Watari onto Yagami Residence to full cover, to be honest. Is just going to take Misa and put her all the way over at Yellow Box. Choosing apartments instead. I think I kind of prefer Yellow Box, to be honest, but that's not bad either. Then we're going to see Phaeton straight over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6, 1 Shizuku move, and he's got 8 there. I think Lark, unfortunately, couldn't cinch out these last two names fast enough. This is looking pretty unlikely for him. I'm going to be honest, I think I'm learning that Lark doesn't know who to pick into Crollo, because I don't think Light was a good choice here. Lark hasn't had the best game, but also Crollo is very capable, even after the Illumi change. Crollo is very capable of opening up Underground Auction, and when you're fading Crollo, it's really nice when you aren't beholden to covering the top fate because you need to, like Light needs to cover top fates desperately, because it means you can really stop progress. Gonna see Kurapika and Crush the Spider here. I mean, you probably just put Kurapika at Outskirts, to be honest, because there's like nothing there that can hurt him. And we're going to see a Desperate Gambit to get that 7th name. Don't be imprisoned off the top again. Complications. That'll kill the Death Note or Last Resort. You might kill Last Resort here, to be honest, to try and stop a Justice planned, but getting rid of the Death Note to stop double killing is also a very good call. I think Death Note is probably the better call overall, yeah. The thing is as long as Lark has power, it just takes 1 Misa move to get it back, though. So I think C.atasyl can just set up game here, to be honest. Go to York New, activate Shizuku, move someone over. I was about to say, you might even move Uvagin back over to Outskirts. To try and deal with Kurapika. Surprised you're not moving Shizuku instead, because if you move Shizuku over, you threaten it. Provided you have it in hand. Okay, well, you can just do a Spider Limb as well. That also threatens it. Had to pay 2 because of Kurapika, but this is guaranteed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Greed Island. Unless they're both in the discard, which I don't think they are. Lark is just going to go over to Yagami Residence. He's going to get to kill Ide and or Mello here. He might have a delete or some such to get the other one. He's thinking. He's thinking. He's going to go over to Light's Residence instead in Amnesia, and then... he's going to set up getting into Showdown while going at his top fate. I think that's probably his best play. He has to hope that C.atasyl doesn't just win the game here somehow, which... Hey, Krollo can usually win the game in a board state like this. I guess we'll see. Phaeton's going to get to go all the way back over there. Illumi's going to be able to put Kurapika down to 2, or down to 3, I mean, which means Phaeton can get the kill. It's either going to be game here or it's going to be really close. Actually putting the -1 on that. And then here's the Phantom Troop for 2. Odds are very high that this can be game here. That's going to trigger a last resort kill Ide, get rid of Amnesia. Can C.atasyl get both kills? Can easily clash Hisoka, so can you just get one more strength at Kurapika? If you have a card in play that does it with Franklin, that'll do it. Well, no, you're not going to have a... You have Scarlet Eyes, so you gain 2 with Scarlet Eyes here. So you have the power to play Bloodbath and an ally. Maybe choosing to put it on Kurapika instead? Going to see the Scarlet Eyes to gain 2. Franklin for a card play. Scheme? No, stolen ability. Not stolen ability? Greed Island to see what these last 2 cards are. I think you probably have it in these last 2 cards. You need like Bana Lanov or anyone who plays to Outskirts by default. I don't know if they're all in play already or not. I don't think they are. They might be. 1, 2, 3. Nah, there's more than 3. 4 with Franklin. And then Scarlet Eyes is 5. There might be. And then Bana Lanov is the last one. Finksdraw. Just trying to draw into the card that wins it. So as a Franklin play and then a Nobunaga Bloodbath play, I think they probably got it. I'd be a little surprised if they didn't, to be honest. Or maybe didn't draw into it because they're not doing Franklin first to set up being able to kill Kurapika. Not doing the Bloodbath. Must not happen. And they're just going to clash Hisoka, obviously. Spider Limbs to put Illumi on to get an easy Illumi trigger to get the final kill. Does cost 2 because of Kurapika. There is still a very small chance... That's not where Hisoka goes. There's still a very small chance with not having closed the game out there that Lark can still bring this back because he is hitting Showdown here. With the eyes. These are Maze, aren't they? Yeah, so you can keep the other eye if you want. That gets Watari and Showdown. Really depends on what fates he pulls, though. Has to pull, like, some insane, like, god-tier fates on Showdown Krollo here. Krollo is not a villain that stays in Showdown for long. We are going to see Watari and Mello both die this turn, so it will just be L, but doesn't have an option to kill L, is the main thing. Leorio and Neon. It's going to probably be Neon. But I don't think there's anything you can do to not lose here. Play Leorio to, like, hide out and pull Uvigin over there? Or no, not Uvigin. Phaeton over there? This is still a dead Kurapika by going to York New, so it just depends on if C.atasyl has a Bloodbath in hand. If C.atasyl has a Bloodbath in hand, it's over, and I'm not sure that there's any... I don't think there's anything Lark can do, to be honest. He needed, like, god-tier Fate pulls, and I don't think this is it. And I don't think that's going to make a difference either. It literally all just depends on if C.atasyl has a Bloodbath in hand. If C.atasyl has a Bloodbath, it's game over on this turn. If not, then Lark can buy one more turn. I'm choosing to play Neon instead. If you play Neon instead, Phaeton is still at Kurapika. The problem is that they have Nobunaga, so if you play Neon... I don't think there's anywhere you can play Neon that doesn't lead into a Nobunaga play. I think it has to be like Leorio to the far left, and then take Phaeton away, because that forces the Illumi on Kurapika. But then C.atasyl wins if they have Bloodbath or other card, Bloodbath or Bonolanov, and I think odds are high they have one or the other. I really think the best play he can do is Leorio Phaeton to the far left, but it doesn't matter, because if C.atasyl has Bonolanov or Bloodbath, it should be game no matter what. If I'm not mistaken. I don't really have anything else to say, so we're just kind of waiting on Lark to to make his decision. I think unfortunately he is gonna lose this one, so very close game. I do think at the end of the day that Lark just kind of, unfortunately, he made a mistake in his counter picking. He picked villains that he likes to play, which is totally fair. He loves playing Orochimaru and Light, but I think Orochimaru and Light both don't do. I think Orochimaru can do well into Crollo if he gets some really insane early fate pressure, but Lark threw away a lot of his early allies and then like lost all to try and keep his territory clear, but as a result, he just kind of left. Oh, he's going to put the -1 on L here instead and leave Watari out and then end his turn, but this should be game. Yeah, Lumi, -1 there, and then just play a, do a Vanquish on Leorio. Gain 2 moved, yeah, Bloodbath. And then there's Bloodbath, so that is game. That is game, so it's going to be a 2-0 for C.atasyl. Lark, unfortunately, is out in round 1. Good games from both players. I do, at the end of the day, I think that these games were kind of won on the matchup picks. I think that Lark made a bit of a mistake going for Light. He went for a character that he really liked, but Crollo is so good, especially in that mid game where it's really crucial for Light to get a Fate Lock here and there so he can eke out a name with a Shinigami Eye or a Patient Plotting. Crollo was just really good opening that. I also think he made a really big mistake in playing Zeno to Outskirts instead of Underground Auction that one turn. There was no way to know that he would have gotten the perfect Gone play the next turn, but I think it was the better play either way. And then with the Gone turn on top of that immediately after, it would have been chef's kiss. That would have given him a lot better momentum overall, I think. But unfortunately, he didn't do that, and so he kind of got back-to-back faded for a good while. So unfortunately, I think that's what really cost him. But anyways, let's go take a look at the bracket and see how it looks. And so with that, we will be seeing C.atasyl defeating Lark and going on to round 2 to go up against Dragonfly, not against Doc McStuffins, going up against Dragonfly in round 2. And yeah, that'll be a very interesting match to see indeed. Lark, unfortunately, getting 2-0'd and out in round 1 again this year, but still great games from both players. Lark, he's got plenty of Anvil going on anyway with testing for winner takes all, so this gives him more time to focus on that in his mini archipelago games that he does in his spare time. But congrats to C.atasyl. Looking forward to that round 2 game between C.atasyl and Dragonfly. So we're halfway through round 1. 4 more games to go before round 2. So I hope you're looking forward to all of those, and I'll catch you next time for the next game. Until then, farewell.